Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 141, One Shadow Nine Fist. Different countries has different age for considering someone an adult. Najima and Ghost Company and all over the world, Kenichi said, and Ghosh is from UK where someone is considered an adult at the age of 16. Well then when are those guys coming? Asked Najima. I don't know. But they would come within a week or two at most, replied Kenichi. Fine, then we will be ready for them, he. Najima laughed. At the Sea of Japan. A kid was waiting for someone as he stared at an ant trying to crawl its way while carrying a heavy thing for its weight. He has a tall, well-built man with silver hair that hung in a ponytail down to his waist. He noticeably has a very odd eyes, indicating he has heterochromia, meaning he has two differently colored eyes. His right eye is ice blue, while his left eye is red. He has various bird motifs on his clothing, from the caged bird earring on his ear to the mark on the left side of his face, and even his jacket and necklace. He wears what appears to be a blue jacket with a red dragon tattoo on the left sleeve and sports pants, and ties back his long silver hair with a band. Ah, that ant's giving his all while carrying that. Looks difficult, said the silver-haired kid. What are you doing, Sho? Let's go, we have to go, said a very tall man named Akira Hongo with a slim frame yet sports a well-defined and muscular build. He is light-skinned with long straight black hair that frames both sides of his face with some bangs hanging over his face. He also sports a small and scruffy mustache. His most noticeable trait is his long and pointy ears. He has a large scar running down the left side of his face near his eye. He is wearing tight black outfits with a flowing backside and was wearing sunglasses with triangular lenses. From the speedboat. Coming, sensei, said Sho as he crushed the ant beneath his foot as he jumped towards his sensei on the speedboat. For a wingless bird like you to crawl on the earth, it's better for you to be stomped on. Yahoo! I see it, it's that ship, right, sensei, Sho said, pointing towards on a passenger ship while sitting on his master's shoulders. That's it. Though it's disguised as a passenger ship, the amour's too thick. The way the ship's floating gives it away. You are right, Sho. Your observation ability is high. It's a good thing, Hongo said. Yes, sensei, shouted Sho in reply. Anyhow, Sho. You are in the way, get off, said Hongo to Sho. Yes, sensei, I will. Sho said. They reached the ship and both master and disciple boarded the passenger-looking ship. Kensei-sama is down there waiting for you, please go inside, said a bald man waiting for the two. As the two walked inside, they saw Ishinai Ogata aka Kensei waiting for them. It's been a while, Kensei, Hongo said. Hey, come on in, God hand Akira Hongo and his disciple Kanosho, said Ogata. After a brief greeting, the One Shadow Nine Fist meeting was underway. The One Shadow was absent from it. Ogata and Hongo were the masters on the ship while everyone else was scattered on the globe, using computer screens to communicate with live feed. As they discussed some plans, Ogata decided to bring up the subject to Ryo Zanpaku's strongest disciple, Shirahama Kenichi. Though 10 disciples, 9 from the Zanshin Taishiryu and 1 from Chishokan, were sent to fight him, they were defeated by what I believe is Ryo Zanpaku's reserve army, the Shinpaku Alliance, stated Ogata, knowing the fact that most of them originally belonged to his disciples group, curiously a group of disciples who practice martial arts. Quite like Yomi, except only few have masters while the rest are self-trained. Nonetheless, they show potential. Oh, smiled the laughing fist Carlo Diego, do tell me more. I would like to see if they would be good cannon fodder for the desperate fight of disciples. Humph, foolish, huffed the bewitching fist, Mikumo Kushinada, who despite being roughly the same age as Hayato Furinagi, appeared in her mid-20s with a well-endowed chest. She did not even care that her nipples could be seen from her clothes. I am more interested in the so-called strongest disciple. Indeed, our goal is to defeat the strongest disciple with our disciple. If we kill him before he becomes the strongest, the world won't accept it, stated Jumsai Agard, the sovereign of fists and elbows. Of course we will not interfere in our disciples' fight. Yeah, about that, both Christopher Eclair and Tenmonli did meet him, but they don't want to talk about him, Ogata said. He knew that they must have been charmed by his skills as well, so they didn't want to share any information with anyone. Christopher Eclair. So he is the one who got Ghosh Industries from Ghosh Winakira Hongo, the God Hand asked. Yes, that's true, Ogata said as he decided to tell Yami half-truths about him. The boy is a prodigy for sure, continued Ogata, causing quite a few masters to scoff. He is a direct disciple of the invincible Superman Hayato Furinagi himself, as well as disciples of all other Ryozanpaku masters. He seems to be mastering not only hand-to-hand combat but also weapon usage, no doubt from the prodigy of swords, mistress of all weapons Shigeru Kosaka. Humph, so H uses weapons, scoffed Alexander Gator, the Fist of Destruction. Perhaps he needs it to compensate his lack of skill in CQC. That is far from the truth, said Ogata. Though skilled with his choice of weapon, he has shown more mastery in using his fists and legs instead. You God Hand Akira Hongo even know his karate master Sakaki Shio. Do you think he would let his disciple be much better at weapons than hands and legs? Not in a million years, scoffed Hongo. See, and I haven't talked about his other masters such as Kensei-ma the Chinese Kenpo, Jiu-Jitsu master Akasame Koetsuji, or his Muay Thai master Apachai Hapachai, Ogata stated. Truth be told, judging by his skills, I have to say that only some of our direct disciple can challenge him, and that is by working together in a group. Chapter 142, To the Cemetery. See, and I haven't talked about his other masters such as Kensei-ma the Chinese Kenpo, Jiu-Jitsu master Akasame Koetsuji, or his Muay Thai master Apachai Hapachai, Ogata stated. Truth be told, judging by his skills, I have to say that only some of our direct disciple can challenge him, and that is by working together in a group. This was met with uproar, some insulting Ogata, saying that just because his disciple, who was weakest of them all in their opinion, was defeated didn't mean theirs would as well. I have only stated my opinion based on how he has fought, said Ogata as they calmed down, but if you don't believe me, feel free to send your disciples in. Ogata had opted to not tell them about the boy being able to use Kino Shuka, nor his fight against Christopher Eclair, which he only got to know about due to his informants who has been keeping an eye on Kenichi, as it would draw unwanted attention from the demon Godfist, Genizad Silkwat, and perhaps Kushinada. He had no desire to have Kenichi taken by them, as he wanted to have the first chance himself. It was then that Sho found a female spy in their midst who had copied precious data into disk. Oh? Ma'am, where are you doing to take that data on Sensei you have hidden in your chest? Sho said, coming behind the girl. My apologies, looks like something slipped into the grass. Guards, shouted Ogata. The girl pushed Sho away and ran for the exit, but Sho reached it before her, though he let the girl go but not before stealing the disc back. So this is Ryozanpaku's disciple, noted Sho as he saw a knocked-over screen with Kenichi's face on it. He raised his foot and crushed, I don't know why, but I really want to smash him bits. As the discussion went on, they never noticed a small blip. Today Myo was silent for the whole day, and unlike her cheerful self, she was different. It was only while training when his masters told about tomorrow being the day her mother died. Tomorrow was the day everything changed. The day Mo's chance of having a loving mother and father disappeared. The day she would never be able to have her parents watch her grow up. The day her mother was killed and her father framed for such crime. In the bite when Myo came to his room wearing her sleeping dress. Is everything okay, Myo? Did you need me for something? Asked Kenichi. If it's fine with you. I am going to go visit the cemetery tomorrow, would you like to come with me? Myo asked. Are you kidding? Kenichi said, I had decided to go with you the moment I got to know about it, even if you didn't ask me to. I mean, as your boyfriend, it's my obligation to meet my mother-in-law, don't you think? Myo blushed as she heard Kenichi's words. Don't worry, Myo. I will be there with every step of your life, Kenichi said with a smile on his face. Thank you, Kenichi. Every time I get in front of grave, I always feel really uneasy. I wonder why. I am weird, aren't I? I have always gone with my grandfather, but if you there with me, I am sure I will feel better, Myo said with a smile. As I said, you won't be getting away from me, at least not in this life, Kenichi said. Next day in the morning, Kenichi, Mo and Elder Hayato stood outside the dojo in normal clothes, wearing a black robe over his shirt to join the morning process, similar to the elders. Elder checked his pocket watch before declaring it was time. They ran through the long path up towards the mountain, with Kenichi doing his best to catch up. Despite him being quite stronger than Mo, he was carrying 160 kilograms of dead weight on his body, which though won't affect his burst speed for short term, but as they were running through the mountain it was much harder than running on a flat road. Though he was right a step behind Myo and not more than that. They soon made it to the cemetery and were standing in front of the Furinagi family grave, where they prayed. "I am going to meet up with the head priest, you two head back to yourselves when you are done," stated the elder as he left to give his greetings. "Mom! Grandma! I would like you to meet my boyfriend Shirahama." Kenichi, began Mo, "a lot of things has happened which I never thought could have happened before. But I still am happy with the big family I am going to get by staying with Kenichi. I only wish you two could be here to meet him." As Mio let a tear fall out of her eye, Kenichi stepped up. "Hello mother-in-law, grandmother-in-law, I only have this one thing to say, that I will always be there to protect her, and before anything's happened to her I will be there before her to take care of it." Meanwhile, a mile away stood Kanosho, observing Myo and Kenichi with his binoculars. "Who, looks like the information was correct," murmured Sho, "looks like I found the bug. Lucky that the old man didn't found me even though I am a mile away." Myo and Kenichi were walking towards a park, arms hooked as they chatted. "Perhaps I should take the chance and get a closer look," mused Sho before getting on his motorcycle, following the couple right to Dokakano Botanical Gardens. "Who, a botanical garden as a date? He is pretty cool for a bug," complimented Sho. "Still, gotta scout them, and see what's this whole strongest disciple is all about, especially to make Ogata-sensei say to have most of us avoid him." "Sho-sama," yelled two voices. "URG, how would you two find me?" asked Sho wearily as Hayami Nama and Sito Koya, his fellow brothers in discipleship under Akira Hongo. Chapter 143, First Meeting. "URG, how would you two find me?" asked Sho wearily as Hayami Nama and Sito Koya, his fellow brothers in discipleship under Akira Hongo. "We were following Hongo-sensei orders to keep track of you after hearing Ogata-sama's warning," replied Hayami. "So to do so, we recently placed a tracker on your motorcycle," finished Sito, fishing out a GPS device. "So why are you here?" "To see flowers," lied Sho, not wanting to die as he did not have permission from Hongo to spy on Kenichi. "We didn't thought that you would take Hongo-sensei's orders so seriously about telling us to slow down and meditate a bit," nodded Hayami. "What perfect way to meditate than to be in the flower gardens, around nature." "I have already taken the time to purchase tickets for us," said Sito, reappearing before them. "Let us go in." The trio walked in the botanical garden and both Hayami and Sito began to admire flowers. "This is a pleasant activity you have chosen, Sho-sama," began Hayami as he turned around to him, just to see him missing. "Ah, he ran away again," exclaimed Sito. "We must find him." The two began to panic as they rushed off to find him right past bush. After they turned a corner, Sho's head popped out of the bush. "Geez, that was easy, and I thought it would take more than that," Sho said. "Well, it's good now I can gather information on my own easily." "This is quite a nice place," Kenichi Myo said. "Yes, this is the only good place near the cemetery that could be worth watching," Kenichi said as he hugged Myo from behind as they watched the flowers. "I have never been to such a beautiful garden. Well, look over here, this rose is a samurai," Myo said. "Ah. That one's a French rose," Kenichi said. "Ah, this rose smells like a soap," Myo said as she smelled a rose. "Ah ha 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 ha. It's the opposite, soap is made to smell like this rose," Kenichi said. Myo nestled in closer to him, as if leeching his warmth, as the two continued their stroll in the gardens. "We haven't been on a date for some time, right?" "Yes, due to all that Ragnarok and then Yami we didn't have the time for each other," Kenichi said. They had been walking through the forest area of the gardens when they saw Sho looking up a tree, gazing at a sparrow whose leg had been caught on a fishing line. When they saw him, Myo didn't look at him much as she focused on the bird itself, whom she felt bad about, while Kenichi's mind remembered the story where he gave up his life to save Myo. "This time I won't let you die, but you can forget about getting anywhere close to Myo," Kenichi thought. "Poor thing," murmured Sho, snapping Kenichi from his trance. "Ah," the bird commented Myo. Sho froze at the sound of someone right behind him while breathing himself. Crap, I did it again. I have the bad habit of completely losing focus whenever I get distracted. Sensei always lectured me to get rid of this habit, but I just can't seem to do so, especially when it comes to birds. I hate bugs that crawl on the ground, but I just love birds. What do I do? Looks like the bird got caught in the fishing line, Kenichi stated, though I am not sure why that's even doing there in the first place. If Sensei found out that I made contact with someone from Ryozanpaku, especially Shirahama Kenichi, he will kill me. Gulp Sho. I will just save that bird and then disappeared. As Sho quickly jumped, hopping off the tree trunks towards the bird, so did Myo. Sho witnessed Myo's moves as she seemed to effortlessly dance in the sky. As soon as they both landed on the tree branch, Sho swore that Myo had wings. The two of them quickly freed the bird, watching it fly away into the sky. Myo looked in Sho and asked if he could pass the bird. After freeing the bird, Myo smiled and asked, "You did it quite easily. Are you some sort of martial artist?" "I have found you. I have been looking for somebody like you," exclaimed Sho with stars twinkling around his excited face. "My name is Kano Sho. Come, let us fly together to the wide and dark sky together. I am sure Yami would surely accept you." He moved towards her, but before he could touch her, Kenichi appeared between them, and unlike the two, he did it from jumping directly from the ground. "That's my girl," stated Kenichi with a serious face. Kenichi was in no way letting this bastard touch Myo. Sho moved back, more shocked about the fact that Kenichi managed to move so fast in between them than the fact the two were dating. As he moved back, he blinked as he swore he also saw wings around Kenichi, wrapping around Myo as if protecting her. Except these wings seemed unlike his and Mo's, as the wings they had were like pigeon's wings or something, while Kenichi's wings were of the vulture's wings, someone of top carnivore in the food chain. Shelving those thoughts for later, he focused more on the fact that the two were a couple. And yet the girl simply resonated in his heart. Kenichi's existence suddenly welled up within him. "I don't suppose I can convince you two to break up?" asked Sho. "Fuck no," Kenichi retorted in anger. Worth a shot," shrugged Sho, "but still, I can't exactly let you go now that you have seen me. So do me a favor and die." Sho suddenly accelerated forward, intent on stabbing Kenichi in the stomach at speeds that would surprise many disciples' class by surprise. But unfortunately for Sho, he wasn't fighting a disciple class nor an expert class but a low-class master. Kenichi halted the attack by grabbing his wrist before his attack could reach him. Chapter 144, Myo's Decision. Sho suddenly accelerated forward, intent on stabbing Kenichi in the stomach at speeds that would surprise many disciples' class by surprise. But unfortunately for Sho, he wasn't fighting a disciple class nor an expert class but a low-class master. Kenichi halted the attack by grabbing his wrist before his attack could reach him. Sho wanted to shift his body so he would be under Kenichi's center of gravity, but before he could. Crack! The branch they were standing cracked and Kenichi let go of Sho's hand. "Kenichi?" Myo asked. "Yes, sweetie," replied Kenichi. "Are you wearing those dead weights?" asked Myo. "Yeah." Kenichi's sweat dropped. Crack asterisk. The branch broke and Kenichi fell towards the ground while Mo and Sho reacted fast and were able to come down. Boom asterisk. The ground cracked as Kenichi crashed on the ground. TCH damn, that hurt," said Kenichi, who was now sitting on the ground. Sho was shocked once again as he saw the broken ground underneath Kenichi while he didn't had a scratch on himself. "Let's move somewhere else or we would be thrown out of the garden cause of this," said Myo. "Yeah, let's go," Kenichi said as he stood up, grabbed Myo's hand and walked away from there before Sho could say anything else. Seeing the two walk away, Sho followed them as well as he was not ready to let go of Myo so easily. "So you sure I can't change your mind?" Sho asked, coming right beside them as they walked some distance. "I can tell you all you want to know. Perhaps you want information on, say, your father." Hearing this, Myo stopped dead on her tracks as she turned her head looking straight at Sho. "What did you say?" "Information on my father." "Yes. I know you are Myo Furinagi and your father Saiga Furinagi is one of my masters, so I am one of the people who has the most information about your father," Sho said. No was tempted. She was really tempted as she had just left her mother's grave and was so desperate to know about the truth that she thought about the offer. Kenichi knew what Myo was thinking but didn't say anything to her and just gave a reassuring squeeze to her hand that he was holding to let Myo know that he was there for her. That squeeze wasn't much, but it was good enough to disperse the cloud in Myo's mind. I am sorry, but the life I have right now and the people I have with me are more important for me than knowing about the man who has never shown his face to me. At this moment Kenichi's existence grew even bigger in Sho's mind along with Myo. Myo was the perfect girl that he wanted and Kenichi was the bug blocking that path. "Sho-sama," shouted Hayami, suddenly appearing before them. "Please don't run off like that," heaved Sito. "Sensei told us to keep track of you." Sho started to sweat bullets as his two escorts appeared before them, and if they got to know who he was with, his sensei would surely punish him. Still, there was a chance they wouldn't know. "Ah, you are Shirahama Kenichi," shouted Hayami. Scratch that, he was screwed. His only hope was to have Sito and Hayami keep quiet about this. Before he could decide a plan, a familiar voice popped over. It's been a while, hasn't it, Kanosho, or the leader of Yomi, one of Yami's martial artists, Suparna?" Tanimoto Natsu came from a path standing beside Kenichi. "Ah, hermit, it's been a while," waved Sho. "Don't try to stop me, I am going to crush that bug." Don't you think that your inferiority complex doesn't affect me at all?" said Kenichi. "What? What inferiority complex?" "I have nothing of such thing," retorted Sho. "I think you do." "I am more handsome than you, stronger than you, and have a girlfriend that you want," said Kenichi with a cocky smirk on his face. "Ha! None of them are true." "Except the last one, but that won't be there for long," Sho argued. "Well, I think I am because she says so," said Kenichi as he grabbed Myo by her waist, snuggling with her right in front of Sho, making him grind his teeth in anger. Sho's eyes went red as he almost attacked Kenichi, but before he could, Natsu asked, "Won't your master God Hand be pissed right now due to you not listening his orders?" Sho shivered in fear and losing all his killing intent in an instant as he remembered that he was clearly breaking the rule that Hongo had told him personally not to do. "Right, I should get going," shivered Sho, "but let me try one more time." "Are you sure you won't come with me and fly together in the dark skies, Nilfuriniji? Are you brain dead or something? Clearly she is in a happy relationship with me, so why do you think she would follow you who follows the creed of killing while she follows the creed of life?" Kenichi asked as he looked at Sho as if he is an idiot. "I also have to interrupt you there," sighed Natsu. "I suggest that you not pursue that lie of thought. Do you want God Hand and Invincible Superman to be pissed at you for taking her without order or consent?" "A good point," nodded Sho. "Well, no matter. I am sure that you will see in time, Myo, that you will find your true place with us. By the way, why are you here, hermit?" Sigh. "Because I made a promise," Natsu said. "Big brother," came Keith's voice, followed by another familiar voice for Kenichi and Mo. "Why is he running from here and there?" It was Kenichi's sister Anoka's voice. "What the hell?" asked Kenichi as he saw Keith and Anoka running towards them. "Ah, that's my big brother. And sister Myo as well. Hey, we didn't know that you were coming here as well," Anoka said as she ran towards them. "APA don't run," came another voice, and when everyone saw the figure who spoke those words, Sho and his two brothers were shell-shocked. Chapter 145, Juggling. APA don't run, came another voice, and when everyone saw the figure who spoke those words, Sho and his two brothers were shell-shocked. As following the girls was a giant whose height was more than 2 meters. "Even Apachai-san is here?" Myo questioned. "Don't ask me, even I am shocked," Kenichi said as he looked at Apachai standing in front of them. "Oh, hi Kenichi." "No. Did you came here straight from the cemetery?" asked Apachai. "Yes, we are Apachai-san, but what are you doing here?" asked Kenichi. "Me. Shigeru did trusted the handsome guy to protect Keith and Anoka as he gets distracted easily, hence she asked Apachai to follow them as well," Apachai said. "Ha ha ha ha. So Shigeru doesn't trust that Natsu would be able to protect her cute disciples." Kenichi laughed as he said those words, making Natsu embarrassed. "Nana, big sis, why haven't you come to our home? Mom was asking about you," Anoka asked from Myo. I am sorry Anoka-chan, I was just busy but I promise I will come to your house more from now on, replied Mio. While Anoka was talking with Mio, Keed was berating her brother for disappearing again without telling her, and the trio disciples of Hongo were slowly retreating backwards, but Kenichi saw them and an evil idea sprouted in his mind. Hey girls, have Apachai-san showed you how he juggles humans? Kenichi asked the two girls. I have seen it, answered Anoka. I haven't, came the reply of Keed. Oh, it's alright Keed. Apachai can show you it now, Kenichi said as he looked at the show and his brothers, who felt dread when Kenichi looked at them, and they, losing all pretext, started to run away from them. Apachai, see those three running boys, you can use them to show Keed how to juggle, as we just had a spat with them. Yes, Apachai will be back in a minute, said Apachai as he ran after the three and caught them quite easily. Apachai needs you guys for a show, so come with me, said Apachai as he brought the three of them while grabbing Sito and Heimai in one arm and Sho in another. You let us go. As a Grand Master, how can you come after disciples? Sho shouted. But Apachai needs to show Keed my juggling and I need you for it. Apachai promise he won't hurt you, said Apachai to Sho as he reached in front of the Keed and others. Apachai will show you how he juggles? Said Apachai and started to juggle the three boys he was carrying. Ha! Shouted Sho. Sho-sama aya. Shouted Sito, followed by Hayami shouting the same words. Was it necessary? Asked Natsu. Of course, that bastard tried to make a move on my girlfriend even after knowing that she has me. His guts were too big for him, so even though you came to save him, there is no way I am letting her go like this, replied Kenichi as he folded his arms below his chest. Apachai continued to juggle them for a minute and two, after which he dropped the three. Let's go and see more flowers, he said. Okay, bye big bro. By big sis Mio, we are going, Anoka said, followed Keed, who after saying her farewells ran after them. Kenichi went towards Sho, who was lying on the ground with his mind still disoriented, and said, this is a small punishment for making a move on my girlfriend in front of me. Next time think before you act. Fuck. You bastard, using your master to deal with me. Sho cursed. What are you talking about? Apachai just used you as props for his trick. I don't think he hurt you in any way. Stop making false accusations, Mio doesn't like those type of people, Kenichi said. Sho was going to curse again, but hearing the last part he looked at her and saw Mio covering her mouth with her hands to hide her laugh, causing Sho to become red in embarrassment. We are getting out of here, Sito. Hey Ami. Sho said, standing from the ground as he walked towards the exit, though he was still wobbling a little. Yes, Sho-sama, shouted the two boys as they followed him as they wobbled while walking as well. Ha 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 ha. Oh my god. You are really bad, Kenichi. Mio laughed heartily after she saw that the Sho and his two brother disciples had left. What? You don't expect me to let him go just like that, did you? Said Kenichi with a smirk. It's still better than getting beaten black and blue, don't you think? Yes. He. It's better, way better, said Mio while laughing in between. Huff. Fine, I am going to check on Mai and your sisters, said Natsu as he left Kenichi and Mio. So, should we continue our date, Mio? Asked Kenichi. Dio, you have to ask. Let's go, we haven't even seen half of the garden yet, said Mio as she grabbed his hand and pulled him towards a new flower. 2 days later. While Kenichi was training at Ryozanpaku, he was unaware of the fact that he was going to face enemies he wasn't prepared for, as he didn't have any knowledge about them, and unlike martial artists, these people were sneaky and crafty bastards who only attacked from the shadows. International Airport. A private jet just landed on the Japan soil, and from it came 3 middle-aged men wearing Armani suits, followed by few girls in their mid-20s, and each and every one of them was more beautiful than the other. Ha! I have not been to Japan in many years and it has changed a lot. Don't you think so too, George? Said the man wearing black Armani suit. That's true, Stuart. Maybe we should think about expanding in Japan a little more after we deal with that problem that Ghosh has created for us. What do you think, Mark? Said the now identified George. The man called Mark smiled as he said yes, and we will do it fast, since I don't think the kid will refuse our offer, but in the off chance that he does, we have many ways to deal with him. There is no way I am going to let a kid have what I have been eyeing for so long. Chapter 146, Boris Ivanov. The man called Mark smiled as he said yes, and we will do it fast since I don't think the kid will refuse our offer, but in the off chance that he does, we have many ways to deal with him. There is no way I am going to let a kid have what I have been eyeing for so long. So how are we gonna deal with him? Asked George. First we will gather all the information about him, and when we know about him then we will make a contact. Tilda, let's enjoy our stay at Japan, Mark said. Well, I second to that motion, George said. Agreed, came Stuart's reply. While those men in suits were discussing their plans to deal with Kenichi, Kanosho was parking his motorcycle on top of an unfinished building in the middle of the night, waiting for Boris Ivanov, a direct disciple of Alexander Gator and a member of Yomi. His mind went back to Myo, whom he happily thought of, and Kenichi, whom he wanted to squash. Then came the memory of the juggling embarrassment. Sho also shivered when he remembered telling his sensei where he had been truthfully. There was no need to lie, as he was a horrible liar anyway, and his sensei could easily sense lies. Punishment had been brutal. Sho snapped out of his musing when he heard the telltale signs of a helicopter approaching the building. Helicopters may be able to fly, but they don't have wings, frowned Sho. I don't like them. The helicopter hovered in the air above Sho as ropes were dropped from it. Suddenly, 6 people dressed in army clothes began to descend down quickly from the helicopter. Geez, can't you guys arrive to Japan in a more ordinary fashion? Boris chuckled Sho. That would be troublesome, replied the identified Boris Ivanov, who was wearing a gray camouflage suit along with war paint. He had silver tie that was spiked in the back, and wore serious face when addressing to Sho. We are not part of the army, nor are we regular citizens. It was clear that out of the group of 7 that had come, he was leader. So, what do you require of us? Asked Boris. It's clearly too early for our regular scheduled meetings of Yomi. I have a direct order from the leader of Yomi, grinned Sho. I need you guys to go wild for a bit. Humph, I have no obligation to follow orders except from my master, stated Boris. I have only came here because my master ordered me to do so, and will not move until further notice. The winds blew between them as Sho glared at them. I have wanted to say this for a long time. Suddenly, Sho comically pointed at Boris as Boris, that camo uniform would make you stick out in the crowd. It stands out. It stands out. Sho had repeated the last part twice to make his point, but it was calmly ignored by Boris, who received a phone call from his master from a military-grade satellite phone, one which was attached to a backpack that allowed the phone scrambled if anybody else tried to hack into the phone. I understand, Master, saluted Boris. We shall be returning to Yomi's chain of command at 2,300 hours until further notice. With his phone call done, he handed it to one of his subordinates before snapping to attention back at Sho. Leader Kano, we await your orders. Boris Ivanov, said Sho calmly, I really hate you. Days later. So? How come you are at my house? Asked Natsu while serving tea to Kenichi and others. Well, Mom said that I have to bring Anoka and Keed home for the dinner and you along with them to show them who was the big brother that Keed talks about all the time, Kenichi said as he sipped the tea. This is nice. Natsu would be a good housewife. Maybe I will give my blessings to him and Anoka after she turns 18, he thought. I can accept that reason. I would also like to meet your parents, but why the hell are you 2 hours early in my house and why are they here as well? Natsu said. Naya, what's wrong with me? I am the only one other than Shigeru who haven't met Kenichi's parents, so he asked me to come as well while Siko and Myo will meet us there directly, stated Renka. And you are the one who provided tea, added Kenichi. Shit, that's right, thought a shocked Natsu. It had been ingrained in him to serve tea to visitors to their home, thanks to Keed, who pointed out it was rude not to. Ah, perfect, you are all here, grinned Naijima as he popped in. Wait, where's Myo? Oh, she is at home sparring with Siko as both of them have training quite intensely for some time now, Kenichi said as he thought, most probably trying to catch up to me. Oh well, shrugged Naijima. Right now, all captains and vice-captains of the Shinpaku Alliance are undergoing intense training. As for you, I have already got some information about your master. Wait, he is still alive? Asked Renka in shock. Of course he is, snorted Naijima. Masojetsu was not one to die from a mere burning building. Kenichi already told about his meeting with Masojetsu to Natsu, who knew that his master didn't die in that fire and still continued to look for him. Anyway, here's the updates, said Naijima, passing the paper to Natsu. Natsu scanned and grinned, as his own investigators he had hired had failed before realizing something important. Hey, wait, how did you get in here? I didn't hear a doorbell ring, nor did Keed came downstairs to open the door. Eh? A spare key, replied Naijima, showing his own key before getting smacked in the head by Natsu. My head is starting to feel weird, stated Natsu as he snapped the key in half, only for Naijima to brag he has more. This caused Natsu to grab him and shake him roughly until Naijima promised that he would not give any spare key to anyone. There were many people in the company who would love to get one so that they could grab Keed. Ah, one more thing, I have found some people investigating about you, Kenichi. Chapter 147, Investigation. Ah, one more thing, I have found some people investigating about you, Kenichi. Naijima said. Ha? You were able to find the people of Yami that were investigating me? Asked Kenichi. What? No. They definitely are not Yami, as they are investigating you quite openly. Naijima said. What do you mean by that? Renka asked. They stopped Matsui while he was going home and asked about you, saying they wanted to write a book about you. Naijima said. Cough cough. What? Asked Kenichi. Yeah, and not only that, they even buyed the information from some who didn't wanted to talk about you, Naijima told. How did you know about this? Asked Kenichi. Oh, that's because I was one of those who sold the information about you, replied Naijima with a smirk. Kenichi looked at Naijima and said, You are lucky, I am as a guest here, or you would be lying on the ground right now. Relax. I just did that to know how much information they have gathered about you, that's all. Naijima stated, They already know that you are a martial artist, but not exactly how strong you are, and they know about TSA, that's all I was able to get out from them. So whom do you think these people are, Kenichi? Asked Natsu. If they are not Yami, then they can be those corporate giants who were after Ghosh Industries, Kenichi said, as he thought those are the only people about whom I don't know about. Yes, I think so as well. Hence I sent my informants to gather all the information they can gather about whom those people that are investigating you talk to and report to. Naijima said. That's good, Kenichi said, nodding his head. Now the information on Yami and Yomi, smirked Nijima. Do you have a death wish? Asked Natsu frostily, not to mention any information about the deeply protected. And yet I have already got information about some of them, grinned Naijima. Now, as you all know, that Kenichi's show of Kino Shuka already showed Ogata what he is capable of, and even if he didn't told them about his ability with ki, but he must have definitely told them about your battle powers. And that is only true if he still wants you as his disciple, Naijima said. Fine, then what about Yomi? Asked Natsu. Well, their leader is nicknamed Suparna, a mythical creature in Hindu mythology said to possess beautiful wings, and his real name is Shokano, and I have gotten details that several members of Yomi have already arrived, said Naijima, and this information was actually quite easy to come by. They have already started to conquer multiple dojos and raising hell. So I can accept them at my place as well, Renka huffed. After meeting Kenichi's parents, I will also go back and train with Myo and Siko. The next day. At the Yami base, Kanosho was greeting 3 other Yomi members who had arrived. Rachel Stanley, Ethan Stanley, and Raiden Taidat Jihan calmly sat on the benches, awaiting further orders. Hey wait, where's Boris? Asked Sho. Leader, did you send the order to end mission? Asked Rachel in her Lucha Libre suit, which revealed her assets quite a bit, because he's just going to keep going forever. Rachel is a young, fairly tall girl with long wavy blonde hair down to her back and a very curvaceous figure and well-endowed breasts, both being as much so if more than any girl her age, including Myo and Renka. Rachel has a very flamboyant personality, always wanting to be the center of attention, which she often achieves. She easily becomes upset whenever others gain more attention than her, and she claims they're taking the spotlight, and is willing to perform anything to regain the attention of others, even if it means she embarrasses herself by ripping her clothes to do so, showing she's an attention seeker. Shit, cursed Sho, what's his radio frequency? Dunno, they all replied. Does he at least have a cell phone? Asked Sho. He should have one, right? I don't think he would, shrug Jihan, would be a security risk, in his opinion. As Sho racked his brains, Boris had finished off 58 dojos. Luckily, Yukita's dojo had not been a part of it. "What's next?" demanded Boris to his subordinate. "Sir, all 58 dojos from the lowest rank have been conquered." "What shall we do next?" asked the subordinate. "We conquer them again," ordered Boris until realizing something seemed off and quickly demanded to see the list. Upon scanning there was more dojo's address on the list, and quickly backhanded his subordinate for his mistake, as it would have meant they failed the mission if they didn't complete everything on the list. Boris Ivanov is a member of Yomi, practitioner of combat sambo, a soldier for the Russian armed forces, and the former disciple of Alexander Gaidar. Boris is usually seen in a grayish camouflaged military outfit due to his loyalty to his country and has a muscular build. When wearing this outfit he covers the sides of his face with war paint to symbolize himself as a soldier. His hair is silver and spiked in the back and usually has a small headband around his forehead. Being a Russian soldier and the right-hand man to a colonel, Boris frequently acts in a militaristic manner. He strictly upholds orders and believes orders are absolute, as he will follow any order from his master or his teacher without question or hesitation. He also particularly hates anyone who disobeys orders, and seems jealous when he finds someone with greater loyalty than his. He seems to have a small degree of respect for anyone who is willing to speak against him openly. Boris looked up at what seemed to be a rather old dojo gate, arriving at their destination. Though it seemed to be the most run-down of all the dojos they faced, it seemed to still be quite good quality. "What's the sign say?" asked Boris before complaining, "Why does Japanese have katakana, hiragana, and kanji? I can't read a single word of kanji yet." "Yes, sir. I believe it's pronounced Hakuzan-ryu." Chapter 148, Takedown. "What's the sign say?" asked Boris before complaining, "Why does Japanese have katakana, hiragana, and kanji? I can't read a single word of kanji yet." "Yes, sir. I believe it's pronounced Hakuzan-ryu," said the subordinate. "Hakuzan-ryu sounds familiar, but I don't know where," murmured Boris. "Whatever, let's go." Mission start. Sadly, the subordinate had forgotten that in Japanese language as well as several other Southeast Asian countries, they read from right to left, not left to right as he had just done. Boris and his crew charged into Ryozanpaku without realizing they were heading to the heart of their enemy's base. They first opened the doors, discovering that they were heavier compared to the past doors, but nothing of challenge yet. One of the subordinates commented, "Captain, haven't all of Japan's dojos seemed weak so far?" "You are wrong, it's because we are strong." "Let's go," said Boris. As they charged in, a log trap suddenly came swinging towards them. Boris managed to dodge it, as did several others, but one of them took the full brunt of the hit. One of the subordinate had been ready to help free their trapped comrade, only for Boris to stop him. After careful examination, Boris managed to find key spot for dismantling the trap. Trying to do so any other way would result in or traps activating, which caused a shiver to go up Boris's spine. "Finally a dojo that can make this more interesting," said Boris with a smile on his face as he tossed a grappling hook to the rooftop after disabling the trap. The man was knocked unconscious, leaving only 6 of them now. Once they made it to the roof, Boris carefully scanned the area, noting 4 more traps before using hand to convey the plans. They would split into 3 teams of 2, and their mission priority was to take out any targets within. Once done, they would meet up at building in the middle to the rendezvous. "Ah, a trap got activated," noted Shigeru from the main dojo. "Relax, it's probably Kenichi and the others," stated Sakaki as he drank his beer bottle. "We did warn them to be prepared for anything." Akasame and the other agreed that putting these traps was the best way for all of them to prepare themselves for going into the world of martial arts. "APA, but it can be the newspaper man like yesterday," Apachai said. "Oh. Okay," said Shigeru, plopping back down to the floor. "It is not okay if it's the newspaper man," Sakaki thought while sipping his beer. Though it was the truth, as they did want Kenichi and the others to prepare by setting up traps for them. However, they did not know that Boris Ivanov was the one who was currently invading. Since Kenichi had called and said that majority of the Shinpaku Alliance people would be coming over. "Ah, it's boring," grumbled Sakaki as he sipped on his beer. Subordinate A, codenamed D3 and the one with a bandana, was approaching a barely open door. Hiding from the side, he used corner shot to peek around the edge. However, upon rounding the corner, all he could see was pitch black, which was curious as the room was clearly lit. He looked down before freezing in shock to see another corner shot camera looking right at him. "I wonder who's here," said Kensei with grin before opening the door. D3 quickly backflipped away to avoid being caught before landing on something that triggered one of Akasame's machine. Several wooden dolls quickly sprung up, electricity crackling in each hand. D3 began to punch them down, only to have them spring back up with them even more power. Suddenly, the floor beneath him began to move. D3 began having to fight and run for his life. Perfect. I see that you have acquainted yourself with our newest machine," said Kensei with a smile. Akasame was actually running out of ideas when he thought, why not combine some machines? So we decided to not only train how to fight multiple enemies, but also run while doing so. After all, an opponent isn't going to stay still all the time. So, what are your thoughts? "Jaya," screamed D3 as he failed to hit a target and was promptly tazzed. "D3, what's wrong?" asked D4, who was bald and wore a headband. D3 responded. All D4 could hear was screams before silent. "He couldn't have been defeated, right?" said D4 to himself as he cautiously hugged the wall while sneaking around. He stopped when he suddenly saw Tuchamaro standing in front of him. "A mouse?" D4 voiced out loud. Takamaro whipped out his nunchucks before showing off his moves. The sweat drops progressively grew on D4's head as Takamaro finished showing off, high eyes glowing as he motioned for D4 to come at him. D4 promptly turned around in time to see Noir the cat pushing a wooden post clearly bigger than him. Before D4 could question this, Noir promptly stood on two legs and unsheathed his claws in his forelegs. He turned to the wooden post and began attacking it. Noir slashed at it twice before jumping in the air, continuing to swipe at the post. He weaved and dodged, going around the post, zigzagging as he did so until finally stopping. The wooden post, which had been a black wood, had been carved into blocky version of Takamaro while Noir's claws still gleamed sharply. After staying with Takamaro for so long, Noir had learned from him quite well and had become quite good in it. "Impossible," said D4 to himself as he turned back around and tried to avoid touching Takamaro. Takamaro squeaked in anger as he jumped towards D4's face while Noir hissed in anger and jumped towards his butt. "Stay away from me, you nightmares," screamed D4, "I am allergic to you both." D5 and D6 heard noises emanating from a room and charged in, just to get slammed a swinging stone statue that Akasame had been using to strengthen himself. Boris and his right-hand man, D2, made it to the center dojo before radioing the others about their status. D3-6, respond. Stated D2 commander, nobody is responding. They have been taken out, concluded Boris before giving a small chuckle. Excellent. From the first dojo ever since this mission started, I felt like a machine just going through the works, doing everything that was ordered. But today, I can feel my hair beating in excitement. Boris decided the time for hiding was done, and opened the dojo doors. Dojo Master, I request a fair and square bat. Chapter 149, Dragon's Might. Boris decided the time for hiding was done, and opened the dojo doors. Dojo Master, I request a fair and square bat. Quit making so much noise, shouted Sakaki, currently in grumpy mood and a little drunk. I am trying to drink in peace here. Tlee finished Boris as he endured the ki blast from Sakaki. His subordinate did not fare as well as he was knocked unconscious. Shigeru, noticing that the intruder was someone that they didn't know as well as wearing shoes on the dojo mats, quickly responded. She dashed towards the two, her sword unsheathed. Boris, fearing for his life, did a quick backflip to save himself. Though he soon found out that despite his actions, Shigeru could have easily knocked him out, or worse, kill him. Instead, she had precisely cut both his subordinated shoes and his without a scratch. In the dojo, you take off your shoes. Dojo, said Shigeru as she sheathed her sword. That caused Sakaki to laugh heartily. These people aren't normal, fought Boris before standing up. I am Boris Ivanov of Yomi. I have been ordered by Yami to conquer this dojo. Then you are in quite a predicament, said Akasame from behind him. causing Boris to freeze up before jumping away. I didn't even notice him, thought Boris before noticing all his subordinates being laid in front of him unconscious. He was curious why D4's face was wreathed in fear while his pants was in shreds. "Who are you people?" questioned Boris. "Didn't you read the sign?" asked Kensei. "This Ryozanpaku. The place where those who stand at the pinnacle of their martial arts gather." Boris wanted to slap his forehead at his screw-up. He had forgotten to remind his subordinate to read right to left, not left to right. Not only that, but he was at the heart of the enemy territory with no real victory in sight. Still, he had a mission to fulfill, and he would issue a challenge out. Multiple things happened. It not matter now. "Fight me, Ryozanpaku!" Boris shouted. "This isn't good. This has become troublesome thing," Akasame said. "Time out." The masters of Ryozanpaku made a circle to decide how to deal with current situation. "This situation won't get any better until Kenichi and his friends come back," Kensei said. "True, as Grand Masters we can't interfere between the fights of disciples," Akasame nodded his head. "So we just keep him here until our disciples comes home and take care of him?" Sakaki asked. "Yes," Shigure said as she nodded her head. "Kenichi can take him out easily." Appa, then what do we do till then?" asked Appachai. "I will take care of that," Akasame said. After their discussion, Akasame suddenly rushed towards Boris, forcing him to fall back to avoid getting hit. As he fell down to his rear, a pillow tossed by Akasame suddenly appeared underneath his rear, and Boris found himself in a sitting position. Akasame slammed his palm into the floor, where a peculiar tatami mat suddenly flipped out of the way to reveal a small hole. Takemaro quickly bought snacks while Noir grabbed cups, and Akasame had a teapot suddenly placed in between them. Why don't we hear what you really want first?" "We can fight later," suggested Akasame in perfect Russian. Boris warily looked at Akasame for a bit before accepting the teacup from Noir. A few minutes into the tea ceremony, Boris certainly seemed to have relaxed. By this time Kenichi and the other members of Shinpaku Alliance had reached the dojo and were entering it without knowing that they had a guest in there. "Masters, we are back," Kenichi said as he slid open the dojo door. "Hi, we decided to tag along," said Yukita. "Kenichi, you are back," Appachai said as he smiled. "Masters! Kenichi!" The strongest disciple in the history, thought Boris as he looked at the man who was standing right in front of the large group of teenagers with a confident smile on his face. As he had already seen the picture, he already knew how he looked, so without wasting any time he charged at Kenichi. By this time Kenichi had already seen Boris and was able to figure out who he was, and when he saw him charging towards Kenichi was already ready for him, but before Kenichi could make a move someone else did. "Watch out! Kenichi!" Takeda shouted as he ran in front of Kenichi to protect him and countered Boris's punch with his own. Both punch couldn't hit the target, but Boris grabbed Takeda with both his hands, pulled him closer, and with his knee attacked his liver, causing Takeda to cough up spit, and then kicked the back of knee, making him fall, and was ready to stomp on him once again. "Stop!" shouted Kenichi as he released his ki at full strength, pushing most of his friends back while only few were able to remain standing. To Boris, against whom it was released and who was taking the full brunt of it. It felt like a dragon was roaring at him, ready to pounce any second, even though it didn't had as much killing intent as Sakaki, but it might, it definitely wasn't any weaker than Sakaki, and maybe even a little strong than him. Boris paused for a second or two to stomp at Takeda, giving Myo and Siko, who were standing right there, enough time to pull Takeda away from the stomp. As Takeda was saved from Boris's second attack, Kenichi launched a kick on his own, and though Boris was ready to block it, he wasn't expecting such strength from a single kick. Before it even landed, Boris could already feel wind blowing at his face, and when the kick landed he was sent crashing back straight at the dojo wall. Cough, cough. Boris coughed as he looked at his hands that were shaking from that kick, and he was sure that they won't be able to take another one of such kick. Luckily for Boris, Kenichi didn't use his full strength as he was in restraints along with his control. Boris had to face only 50% of his strength. "Coming at my dojo and attacking my friend right in front of me. Your master didn't taught you manners, did he?" Chapter 150, Thrashing Boris. "Coming at my dojo and attacking my friend right in front of me. Your master didn't taught you manners, did he?" said Kenichi as he walked towards Boris. "Ah! Kenichi beat him, Apachai said. Sakaki passed a note of 100 yen to Kinsei as he'd sked. Anything you want to say that will stop me from giving you a good thrashing? Kenichi asked. I wasn't focusing on you. My mistake won't happen again, said Boris as he stood up in his fighting stance. Suddenly the emergency phone that D2 carried started to ring and Apachai picked it. Yes. I have your child in hostage, said Apachai. What? Who's speaking? Said the person from the other side of the phone. Apkai's Apachai. Said Apachai. Okay, then Apachai, can I talk to Boris Ivanov? Tell him it's his leader, said the person. Boris Ivanov, it's for you. It's someone called leader, said Apachai. Boris looked at Kenichi, who signaled him and said go ahead. Boris took the phone from Apachai's hand. What? Withdraw, shouted Boris. Exactly, withdraw immediately, said Sho from the other side of the phone. I couldn't contact your subordinates, it's become quite troublesome, said Sho. I am currently in the middle of fighting the enemy. Boris said. Do you want me to make you disappear? Return immediately, it's an order. Sho commanded. Is that Sho Kano you are talking to? Kenichi asked. Sho heard his voice and asked, is that Shirahama Kenichi? You went to enemy's heart, are you an idiot? It's him, isn't he? Sho Kano. What type of leader are you? Sent your subordinate in the heart of the enemy. Nyo doesn't like sloppy leaders at all, said Kenichi. You can go, Boris, we won't stop you for your leader's sloppiness. A growl was heard in the phone as Sho barked to Boris, get the fuck out of there, Boris. Boris crushed the phone in his hands and waked up his subordinates. After waking them up, they started to walk out of the dojo, but not before Boris throwing the challenge emblem to Kenichi, which he catches easily. Kenichi Shirahama. I will kill you and take that emblem back. That's a Yomi-style duel challenge, said Boris as he and his subordinates walked out of the main dojo room. Kenichi of course didn't stop them as they walked out of the room, cause he didn't took them seriously, simply because he was aiming to fight against his master instead of him. Here Myo, this challenge badge is made of pure gold, do whatever you want with it, said Kenichi as passed the badge to Myo. What? Really? Myo asked in surprise. You can ask Master Akasame to check it if what I am saying is true or not, Kenichi said, and Myo ran towards Akasame. Seeing her antics, the other couldn't laugh and giggle. Ogata was just humming to himself on a ship when a hurricane-class submarine suddenly appeared on the port side of the ship. Sighing, he decided to go down to visit whom he knew was in the submarine. Upon entering, he saw rows of beautifully sculpted marble statues, and Alexander Gaidar, the man known as the Fist of Destruction, was delicately sculpting another statue with a peaceful visage on his face. That instantly changed when Alexander slammed his unfinished sculpture against Ogata, who destroyed it while wrecking quite a few other statues at the same time. All member of Yomi had 58 dojo on their list. So why did mine have 59? Accused Alexander before claiming down and turned back to painting. You're the one that sent my disciple to Ryozanpaku, aren't you? I was merely following orders as caretaker of Yomi, smiled Ogata. I was the last one to join Yami, after all. Plus, I thought you would be happy that your disciple would get the opening shot. It's an honor, isn't it? Not to mention he returned safe and sound. While Alexander refused to comment and ended the conversation, Ogata sighed and as he jumped back to his ship. Truth be told, he had wanted to see more of Kenichi's skills. He was very interested in how such a young boy was already capable of using ki at a master level. Despite Kushinada's bragging about how her disciple was the prodigy, to which he would admit she was, it was nothing compared to Kenichi. Oh well, there will be other chances, shrugged Ogata. I am sure Fortuna and Diego will come up with something. Meanwhile, Kenichi, Myo and Siko were walking towards school, talking and smiling with each other. It's been a while since we did something like this, asked Myo as she smiled, just the three of us walking and talking without any care. Yeah. I won't say without any care, Kenichi stated as he glanced back at the three unconscious bodies. The three of them had challenged Kenichi to a fight, only to be swiftly knocked out by them. Siko and Myo were rather displeased, Siko because they disturbed her time with Myo and Kenichi, making her kendo sword a little bloodied, while Myo was displeased because one of them almost stepped on a stray cat's tail, and so her hand were not so clean as well. "What are you saying, it's good, right, Myo?" Siko said. "Of course, why do you think otherwise, Kenichi?" asked Myo sharply. "No, not at all, my sweethearts," said Kenichi as he grabbed the two girls with his hands wrapping around their willow waist and pulling them close to him. The two girls blushed and forgot about Kenichi's comment after hearing his sweet honey words, seeing which Kenichi released the breath that he was holding up till now as he thought, "Though I feel sorry for those guys, it's not enough that I will get my head under the sword for them." They continued on the path home when Kenichi remembered their homeroom teacher, Fukujiro Yasunaga, mentioned about the upcoming class trip to the mountains. "Myo, will you be alright?" asked Kenichi. "Didn't you said that you have a phobia with places where snowfall is high, and the trip in the mountain is definitely one of them?" "What? There is something like that, and both of you didn't told me about this." That wraps up this part of What If Martial Artist Reborn is Kenichi Shirahama. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.